So you heard about digital products and now you want to figure out what the heck is it? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be going over just that, plus a few more things. I will have the timestamps of all the topics that I'll be going over today down below. The first thing that I want to dive into is what are digital products? A digital product is any product that you sell online that doesn't have any physical form or substance. So essentially, you are going to make this product online and you are going to sell it to someone online. Now we are going to move on to the examples of some digital products. So I'm going to jump right onto Etsy, and the first example I have for you today is SVGs. There are two types of SVGs I'm going to mention. The first one is personal SVGs. These are ones that you can use personally. So you're going to take them and put them into your Cricut design space and cut them out or draw them out, whatever you want to do with it. Now, I also do want to mention that please stay away from any designs, logos, colors, titles, anything that could be trademarked or possibly trademarked in the future. So that one I just showed you was a Taylor Swift one, and then there's also this Under Armour one on the left. Stay away because Etsy does not play with that kind of stuff. You can get banned altogether. Just stay away, far away from it. But as you can see, there's so many different types of SVGs that you could create. The second type of SVG that you could create is commercial use. This is one that you can actually use in your business. However, what I would recommend is looking at the terms and conditions for every single shop, because they might have rules against you using them with print on demand. You might be only able to use them for a physical item. That means not print on demand. And if you have any confusion with their wording or their terms and conditions, message them, please, because you don't want to run into that into the future. The second example I have for you is a mock-up. Mock-ups are amazing because there's so many different types of mock-ups you could do. You could do a mock-up for a tumbler, a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, a tote bag, a wedding invitation, a wall poster. There's so many different types. And then even within that, there are so many different types. So say you want to sell a t-shirt mock-up. Well, then you can expand to color charts, or you could expand to size charts. And I am here to tell you that this is a really good niche to get into because print on demand is growing so fast. There's so many new shops that are trying out that business model. So if you get into it, you're going to be the supplies for those businesses. The third example I have for you is a habit tracker. This got a lot more popular ever since the book Atomic Habit has been a bestseller. It's been a bestseller for a lot of years already, but it's just getting more and more popular. I love tracking my habits. Ever since reading that book, I have been acknowledging my habits more, and I honestly have seen an tremendous change in my behaviors and what I do on a day-to-day, just everything overall. So I do think that this is a really good one. There is two different types. You could have a printable one, or you could have one that's on Google Sheets or Excel. The fifth, I think, or is that the fourth? I don't know. Whatever example this is budgeting. Budgets are so important, and I think a lot of people don't do them. So right now, I actually have bought a few different budgetings. They're all a little bit different because they have a little bit of a different layout, or they have more elements to it. So what I would recommend with that is looking through it. If you've ever had a budget in the past, kind of write down on a piece of paper what you like about a budget and what you don't like about a budget, and add those all in, because if you like it, someone else might. The fifth example I have is a resume template. Oh my God, these are amazing. I have mentioned this so many times that resume templates are it. I've actually purchased this one. No one wants to create them, really. If you think about it, no one wants to create them. They're so boring. However, they're so helpful because it'll tell you, put your town here, put your experience here. They're just so helpful. So you can create one and then just remake that one 100 times and sell them. And they sell for a good amount of money. The next example I have is a media template kit. Becoming an influencer or someone known on social media is becoming more and more common. So with that, these templates are going to become more in demand. Now we are going to move on to the digital products flowchart that I created for this video. So in this example, I am assuming that you have already done some product research and made a few items. So now in the first step, you are going to create and add the digital product file to Etsy. Once you've done that, I'm assuming that you've made your first sale. Hooray! We all love hearing the cha-ching sound. It is the best sound ever. When this happens, Etsy will automatically send your customer the file that they just purchased once their payment has been approved. Etsy needs to have the customer's money before the customer has access to the file. In 2021, Etsy's policies were that if you did not download the digital product within, I think it was like 2 hours, then the customer could return the digital product. However, now Etsy's policies state that no digital products can be returned, exchanged, any of that sort. Second thing that is going to happen after your customer makes an order is your money from the order will begin to process. This is what your payment account will look like. This is one of my newer Etsy shops, and this is actually for a digital product Etsy shop. So as you can see, if we go down to the recent activities, your current balance is this amount. So if that amount is larger than your available for deposit amount, that indicates that you have a pending payment or a processing payment. That will show up in your available for deposit within 1 or 3 business days. According to Etsy, if you're a new seller, for your first 90 days, your funds will generally be available for deposit 3 days after a sale. When the 90-day period ends, Etsy payments orders will become available for deposit the next business day. And I actually did just find this straight on Etsy.com under their policies. The last thing that will happen is you are going to receive your payment. So if you want to go on a shopping spree with a whole $13, you can do that. Or if you want to reinvest it into your business, which is what I recommend, you can also do that. Now we are going to take a look at how you add a digital product on Etsy. If you have listed any items on Etsy, this is going to look really familiar to you. The only difference is 2 things, and we're going to go through that. So as I'm scrolling down, you can see everything is the same. But I just want to head straight to the bottom because this is where typically you will see the add your file here. And that is what you need to be able to give the file to your customers. As you can see, it's not there. So what you actually need to do is you need to go back up to the about the listing and fill these out. So I'm just going to quickly fill in them. You can fill in them however you would like. One thing I need to mention is if you do made to order, you will not have a slot to put your file in. So if you have a file that's already made, make sure you do 2020 to 2023. I can't believe it's already 2023. Wow. And then the second thing you need to do is go into type. Instead of physical, you're going to do digital. Once you have selected those 2 sections, you can scroll down and there you go. You can add your digital file onto your listing. I also want to show you what it will look like for your buyer. So this is not what you're going to see, but this is what your buyer is going to see after they've already made the purchase. So what they do is they go into their settings and click purchases. And then right from here, after they've purchased the listing, they can download the file. They are going to see this every single time they purchase it. And if you ever have any questions, how do I download my file? I get that all the time. This is where they go. And then if they click a little bit more into it, so I'm going to click into the download files. This is where they're going to have all the information. So if you leave them any thank yous or anything like that, this is where it's going to be. And then they're just going to click download, and however you put that file in is how it's going to download. So if you put it in as a folder, it's going to download as a folder. If you put it in as a SVG, PNG, whatever you put it in as, they're going to be able to download it that way. Now let's move on to how I make digital products. I'm going to jump right onto Canva, and I'm going to click create a design. I always like to do custom size, and the size that I always put is 2700 by 2250. When I have this blank sheet, I just start putting stuff on the blank sheet and then I kind of finalize it after. So when I was starting this out, I was trying to think of a good slogan, kind of the main focus of the design. And when I was creating this, I thought smiling looks good on you was a really cute slogan. So that is what I started out doing. When you are creating this and you are choosing your font or your slogan, you want to make sure nothing is copyrighted. As well as that, you want to make sure that the fonts you are using do not have a crown on them. That means that they are a Canva Pro element. You are not allowed to sell any designs that have Canva Pro elements on it. I always recommend to go into Canva's terms and policies and reading through them just so you have a really good idea of what you can and can't use, because you don't want to violate it. You just don't. So after this, I'm going to go and find a smiley face. Again, I don't want to click on a smiley face that has a crown on it. That would indicate it's a Canva Pro element. At this point, I realized I need to go back and make the curve more curved. So that's what I am doing right now. And I'm kind of just finalizing everything. Like I previously mentioned, I just get everything onto the screen and then I make it look the way I want it to. After I think it looks great, I'm going to go in and save with transparency. That means that it's only going to be the design. It's not going to have a white background when you click on it. So it will just be the design only, which is exactly what you want to give your customers. After this, I need to create the thumbnail for my Etsy listing. So I'm going to go back in and look for some backgrounds that might look aesthetically pleasing with this design. So I thought this brown kind of metallic looking background was very cute, and I still to this right now think it's so adorable. But then after that, I kind of create a banner on the bottom that gives the buyer a little bit more information, so when they're scrolling kind of quick through all the SVGs, they can right away see that this design is for personal use or commercial use and what the file is. Is it a PNG? Is it an SVG? Is it a PDF? Is it a JPEG? Is it I don't know, there's so many different kinds. What is it? They want to know that. That is so important because some people would rather have an SVG, whereas some people would have a PNG, a PDF, anything like that. And when you are saving it, Canva will also give you kind of an indicator of what to use. So they usually say an SVG is good for electronic I don't know. You will see in a second. They'll tell you exactly what each element or which file is good for it. So after I have kind of personalized that, I don't really like when the banner is like very, very bright, so I kind of make it transparent as well. I don't make it too transparent where you can't see what the banner is, but I do want to make it transparent. So this is what I'm talking about, is that when you click into this, you can see that it is PNG is suggested. I did save it as a PNG, but then I went in and changed it to SVG because that is what I am selling. Thank you so much for watching today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye for now.